Back in May, Marty Ward traded in his crew chief hat for a driver's suit and came away with a win here at Peach State Speedway, giving him a 1-for-2 record for the season. He's a bad man behind the wheel here in Georgia, and he's back for more. United Speed Alliance Racing is better known as the Hooters Pro Cup, and you are there at Peach State Speedway in Jefferson, Georgia for round 18 of the 20-race series. Hello and welcome to the Miller Lite 250. I'm Brian Trevor. My broadcast partner here in the booth is two-time ARCA champion Bill Venturini. And roaming pit road for us as always will be Stephen Cox. So the cars are on the grid as we take a look at the points for the season. Bobby Gill is turning it into a runaway. Jay Fogelman, the only man with a real chance to take the title from Gill.
But another interesting story this year, Brian, is Steve Christian. He's gone from 11th to 5th the second half of the season. Got to be attributed to his new crew chief, Scott Sutherland.
Steve Christian is in fact the leading rookie by better than 200 points over Marty Lindley. And Scott Sutherland's presence has to be a factor. That's our theory anyway. But what does Steve Christian, the race car driver, think?
Scott Sutherland's came on board. He's made a big difference. The crew just hasn't given up. And in all areas, the pit stops are getting better. The driver's finally getting a little bit better. The motor's getting better. Just all parts of the program picking up a little bit. The rookie title is obviously the first goal, but you know, if we can get that, you know, more secure, I guess I should say, then we'll try to step it up a little bit and try to get our first win, which is really what we're looking for today.
Steve Christian, the leading rookie, will start here today looking for a win. Let's go back down to Stephen Cox with the pole sitters.
A third-place starting position for Johnny Rumley. Really good. In fact, better than your last few efforts. What's the difference?
Yeah, like, you know, we got a good motor, got a lot of horsepower. Kowalski, you know, couldn't ask for a better engine. Guy's got a good race car, and it's my job now to make sure this thing lasts 250 laps. And I just want to be inside at 10, at 5. That's all I ask for.
Number 4 is the guy he's going to have to worry about right now. Outside of Johnny is Jay Fogelman. Starts outside row 2. He's second in the points. Chasing this guy, number 5, Bobby Gill. Bobby, of course, is your points leader going into the last few races. Back on the pole after a long absence is Mario Gosselin. How are you setting this car up to go into this race?
Well, W.J. Playman Chevrolet Monte Carlo, you know, qualified really good, and we were happy with our setup qualifying. But for the race, we're going to make the car, you know, tighten the car up a little bit, make it a little bit pushy, because the racetrack, you know, is really hard on the tires, and you tend to get a little loose off the corner. So we're going to start a little pushing. Hopefully we don't fall too far back and maintain for the first 25, 30 laps, and after that we feel like the car should come to us.
Well, they're getting ready to go under a full moon here at Peach State Speedway, so we're going to fire them up here and send 36 cars away.
Drivers, start your engines.
Amy and Ashley Cornwell, daughters of our former media director for the Hooters Pro Cup Series, Gary Cornwell. His son Randy also here crewing on the number 67 car. We'll see him a little bit later on. And boy, do we miss Gary Cornwell. When these engines fire up, you can't help thinking about a good friend, dearly departed. We'll be right back for racing here at Peach State Speedway. Stay with us. The USAR Hooters Pro Cup Series is brought to you by Hooters, delightfully tacky yet unrefined. And by Jackaroo Sauces. Jackaroo tastes so great, they named a restaurant after us. By Naturally Fresh Foods. Naturally Fresh, it's not only our name, it's our promise. And by Miller Lite, the great taste of a true Pilsner beer. Welcome back to the Miller Lite 250 Hooters Pro Cup Series, round 18 at Peach State Speedway. And the cars are now circling the racetrack in anticipation of the start of this one. Kind of a cold night here. Fall has definitely fell at North Georgia.
Definitely cold tonight, and it'll probably show with the way the tires react tonight. They're going to have problems getting hold of this 18-degree turns, you know, a symmetrical corner. We've been here before. Good racetrack for racing, but again, the weather I think is going to play a part on how good these guys can get a hold of the racetrack.
Very racy half-mile oval as we take a look at the Discount Auto Parts starting grid. 7th pole position for the year for Mario Gosselin, with points leader Bobby Gill outside in the number 5 car. Row number 2, Johnny Rumley's best qualifying effort, and Jay Fogelman, second in points, needs a good run here tonight. He's slipping out of reach of that championship. And it's Jeff Agnew on row number 3. He's the defending champion, no shot at a repeat title. And Marty Lindley, a rookie contender, also slipping out of contention for the title.
Starting inside of row 4, Andy Thurman. Good run so far the second half of the season for him, also in the naturally fresh Mountain Spring Water Ford this year.
From 19th to 11th in points. Then it's Marty Ward, the winner here in the spring race in May, 5th round of the season. And Brian Sockwell outside of row number 5 as we continue back through the starting grid. Randy Porter's number 32 car, the Porter Motorsports Ford. Clay Dale from nearby Jefferson, Georgia, goes in the Williams Brothers lumber car.
Starting row 7, Tim Clayton in a Budweiser Chevrolet. Next to him, the car number 95, Stacy Vickers.
In the Rapman.com car, Jabe Jones, another Georgia driver in the Coors Light 09 with Bill Plemons Jr., who's lost his crew chief again here at Peach State. Marty Ward's driving instead of wrenching for Bill Plemons in the Hooters car. Brian Vickers goes in the 42, Two Quick Performance Shock Chevrolet with Derek Kelly in the Discount Auto Parts number 21.
Scott Wimmer starting inside of row 10 in the Jack Root Gold Sauces Chevrolet.
And Martin Nesbitt in the State Fair brand Corn Dogs car number 30. Then on row number 11, it's the 12 car of Tim Edwards, the Edwards Racing Chevrolet. Charlie Ford in the Sun Graphic Chevy number 14, a familiar face, back on row 11. Then it's Darrell Gwynn, the 67 car, with an honorary crew member here tonight, Randy Cornwell, and the 54 of Ralph Carnes. Then on row number 13, Karen Schultz carries the Jackaroo Sauces colors on her Pontiac this week.
New sponsor for her this week.
And she starts with Jason Bowser in the 52 Eagles Nest Racing car. Don Sprouse goes in the 37 on row number 14 with Jeremy Pate, the 62 Pate Racing Enterprises Chevy.
Starting on inside of row 15, Trent Owens in the 1-800 B Petty Pontiac. Next to him, Eddie Bear in the number 39 car, the Fidelity Printing Incorporated Ford.
Total of 36 cars now with row 16 is the number 3 of Jimmy McLean, J&J Motor Ventures Chevy. Ronnie Davidson, we're starting to see some faces who are not regulars until we get to Don Satterfield back in the Hawksaw Blades number 1. And Calvin Redwine starts alongside him in row number 17 in the 85 car, the Redwine Motorsports Chevy. Then we get back to provisional starters Jonathan Brown and Jimbo Mann making up row 18 and completing our 36 car field. Now 36 cars will start, but not everyone will make the field here today. You hate it when guys have to trailer home after coming out to try to qualify, but that's the way it goes. And our in-cars here will be with Andy Thurman starting off in the 47 Naturally Fresh Springwater car.
My favorite shot, the bumper cam.
And he will be looking back from his number 7 start position. Steve Christian in the 0 car goes 8th alongside Andy Thurman. There's Thurman's 47 down inside, so Christian in the Lucas Oil Product Chevy. And of course the deck cam off Derek Kelly's Discount Auto Parts Chevrolet. We've seen a lot of good views from him, and he goes from the number 18 start spot halfway back in the field. Then the 30 car of Martin Nesbitt, the State Fair brand Corn Dog. Similar view over the deck lid there, and he starts 20th, 1 row further back than Kelly. And finally, the 67 car of Darrell Gwynn, the Miller Lite Ford. And you'll be looking out through the windshield from your riding shotgun with Darrell, let's say.
This is the first time ever having a camera in Darrell Gwynn's car. I think he's excited about it.
He certainly is going to be excited if he's got a heart beating in his chest right now, because we're getting ready to go green flag racing at Peach State Speedway, one of the fastest half-mile tracks anywhere. Rusty Cruz will be our official starter here tonight, and he waves the green flag for 250 laps of Hooters Pro Cup racing at Peach State. Quickly up alongside and out into the lead, at least he's nosed ahead a little bit, the 5 car of Bobby Gill from the outside of the front row challenging for the top spot, and he's got it. He drops down in front of Mario Goslin to take the lead as we complete 1 lap.
There's a guy not worrying about a championship. He's going for the lead and the win right now.
Bobby Gill, with 4 wins already on the season, has a commanding lead in points, but he wants more. He's out in front right now, but we've got a caution. The 85 car, Calvin Redwine, starting from the back of the field, has spun and brought out the first caution here with only a lap and a half of racing in the book. So Calvin Redwine parked on the racetrack. He's got the car refired, but we're slowing him down. The pace car's on the racetrack. We'll take a break here. It's an early one, but we'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Peach State Speedway.
For more of the Miller Lite 250.
And thanks once again, girls, as the cars are under caution here at the Speedway. Let's go down to Stephen Cox for more on the first yellow flag.
The 85 car of Calvin Redwine did not make a pit stop after that incident in turn 1 moments ago. Now, his crew chief told me just a second ago that there was too much rear brake bias for Calvin, so the rear wheels were locking up, kind of sending him squirrely into the turns. Well, they didn't come in because Calvin was able to make that brake bias adjustment from the cockpit, and now we're ready to go back racing.
He hopes he made the right adjustment. He won't know until they get back full throttle.
And he'll know as soon as he has to stand on the brakes going down into turn number 1. But right now, Bobby Gill takes him back in the naturally fresh dressing and dips forward. Started second, took the lead in turn 2. Mario Gosselin runs second. And there you can see our Discount Auto Parts field summary all the way back to 5th place, Jeff Agnew, and 10th place, Randy Porter.
You can see these drivers are pretty cautious right now about running side by side. You know, the track's cold. Nobody's sure how the tires are going to grip, like I said earlier. And you can see everybody immediately got in a single file, and nobody's ready to test anyone right now.
What little temperature was in the racetrack is going to be gone in a hurry here. The sun was on it, but now it's not. It's cooling down quick.
The sun's gone. There's no heat in it, and you can see some sparks coming from Johnny Rumley. Again, we've seen that all year long. That's usually it happens at the start of a race when the air pressures are a little low. I don't think these guys dropped the air pressure down as low as they used to because of the cold temperatures. They should have probably only gone maybe 2 or 3 pounds at the most on dropping off of recommended air pressure.
There's Johnny Rumley's number 27. He's got a mirror full of the defending champion, Jeff Agnew, and the sparks have pretty much subsided now. The temperatures in the tires are up to normal operating now after 3 or 4 laps under the green flag. But this whole group, beginning with the 3rd place car of Jay Fogelman, is losing a little bit of ground in the 2 leaders.
Watching Jeff Agnew right now, this has been his strategy like all year long. He doesn't get up there and lead right away, or he kind of runs in the top 5, just kind of hangs around it. Right now, as I'm talking about, he makes a move underneath Johnny Rumley.
Works underneath on Rumley. He saw that move coming a couple of turns back, and Jeff Agnew has the position. He has the advantage, but does he have the spot on the racetrack? He's now nosed ahead, and yes, Rumley has to drop in line as they cross-start finish. Agnew will be credited with 4th place on that lap and moves Rumley back to 5th.
Let's see who's closing in on the back end of Johnny Rumley is Andy Thurman, the National Refresh Mountain Springwater Ford. Good second half of season for him this year too. He's really took him a little while to get gelling with his crew and the car, and since the halfway point, he's really come on strong.
On board with Steve Christian, looking ahead to the number 47 there. Also carrying the colors of Akita Copiers is Andy Thurman. There's the 7th place battle. It starts with Christian and Marty Lindley. They're the 2 rookie contenders, but just under 200 points separate those 2. And with this race and 2 more to go, it's really going to take a Herculean effort, and there's a big word for you, Bill, by Lindley, and it's going to take a disaster for Christian. If he can just hang in there, he's going to have that rookie title that he said was so important.
And Steve Christian has really got his program together right now. He's got a couple of second places in the last couple of races, so Marty Lindley, like you said, definitely has his hands full to even try to compete with Steve Christian. But look at right now, the battle for the lead. Mario Gosselin has stepped up the pace. I think he's getting a little more comfortable. Look at the heat in the brakes right now. These brake rotors are glowing, but he's really dogging Bobby Gill right now.
And they're both coming up on Calvin Redwine, who spun and brought out the first caution of the race. Likewise in the championship, Bobby Gill with about a 400-point lead over Mario Gosselin. Gosselin's got to win 3 races, and Bobby Gill's got to go home now in order for Gosselin to take the title away from Gill. Fogelman, his job's a little bit easier, but he also 200 points out of a championship with 3 races to make it up. Count this one.
Yeah, Bobby Gill's got a championship going, a season going right now, and it's his championship to lose. If he keeps performing like he has been, finishing the top 2 or 3, he can't lose the championship. And the way he's performing all year long, I don't see anything happen unless he has some mechanical problems, but the crew and him have everything together right now.
Bobby Gill, the leader. Johnny Rumley back to 5th. We saw that happen. Now you're looking at the 97 of Marty Ward. He's in 9th place after he started in 9th place, so he hasn't made up any positions, but Marty Ward won here in May. He crew chiefs for Bill Clements. He's got 1 billion laps around this racetrack, either behind the wheel or in the pits, so he's going to be a factor before this one's over.
Yeah, Marty Ward, a past champion in this Hooters Pro Cup Series, knows what he's doing. He's a good shot here off the back end of Derek Kelly. But getting back to Marty Ward, he knows what he's doing. It shows. He's won the championship. He's got Bill Clements running real good this year, and he needed to just. He felt he needed to just become a crew chief, get away from the driving for a little while. But as a driver, you still. Oh, we got it. Oh, bad wreck.
Don Satterfield hits the wall hard, and of course that's going to bring out another caution. He's behind the wheel of the Hawk Saw Blades car for the first time in a few races, and things have gone sour for the veteran driver. Look at that. Oh, man.
Oh, man. Real hard, but it looks like somebody clipped him in the back end, you know, as he's sitting there on the wall. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, and Jeff Agnew could not avoid Satterfield's car. He was in a blind spot there for Agnew, who clipped him on the way by, and we saw the damage to the right front and the right rear now of Jeff Agnew's Twin City Motor Exchange car.
You can see when Jeff came off the corner, he saw Don Satterfield there. He tried to turn the car back down and left, and what it did is it got the car sliding. You saw the car was in a little slide. There was nothing Jeff could do once that happened. And oh man, look at the damage to the right side of his car.
Well, the crew's going to work on the right rear to see if they can get it fixed. Hopefully it's just a tire. They're having some trouble getting it off. We'll take a break from the action, watch what's going on. You come on back. Howling at the moon here on the eve of Halloween at Peach State Speedway. Weird things happen when the full moon is out, usually Bill Venturini, as we go back to the green flag here with Bobby Gill out in front, Mario Gosselin second, Jay Fogelman third. All the championship contenders are up front as we look once again at our Discount Auto Parts Field summary top 10. Sockwell's moved in there for the first time.
And Brian Sockwell's, you know, he's had some good runs this year, but he's also had a lot of bad luck.
Well, that in fact he has. In the 16 car, Guillermo Grading Chevrolet has had its share of bad luck. He found the wall a couple of times this season. Look at Bobby Gill pulling away from Mario Gosselin and Jay Fogelman. He has put a whole bunch of car lengths, and now we're looking at Marty Lindley in the 05, the Hallelujah car, and Marty Ward battling for 7th spot. Ward has moved up a position from 9th to 8th. The Hallelujah car is a Ford now.
You got to remember that at the beginning of the year it was a Pontiac. It took me a race or two to get used to seeing the Hallelujah Ford, but you know he made the switch from the Pontiac to the Ford Taurus, and I don't know if it's really helped him or not. I don't like an idea of a team changing brands in the middle of a season. It does put you as a team owner and as a crew chief. It puts you back. It puts you behind the 8 ball just a little, because there are different characteristics between the engines and the way the bodies and the way the car handles. So I'm not a big advocate of switching body styles in the middle of the season, but they had their reasons, and let's hope it works out for them.
The battle for 6th is also the rookie battle for the 1999 season. It's easy to put your finger on why Steve Christian has had so much success. We say it's because of Scott Sutherland. He says because it's a lot of things, including the driver getting better.
I got to give credit.
It is more difficult to figure out why Marty Lindley's fortunes have kind of waned while Steve Christian's have gone forward.
Yeah, but I like Steve Christian. Good shot here. As we're talking about it, Marty Lindley goes underneath him.
And so does Marty Ward.
But Steve Christian makes the comment that even the driver's improving, and you got to give a driver credit for him to realize that he's a rookie in this series, and he realized he needed some time to learn the car, to learn how it reacts, to learn to work with the crew chief and everything. So, like you said, he's learning, and I give him credit for recognizing that and accepting the fact that, okay, we all have room for improvement.
And he also gave credit to the crew. The crew is making better. Yeah. Pit stops, everything is coming together late in the season, and a rookie championship is perhaps and very probably in the cards for Steve Christian. Marty Lindley doing everything he can to make it ain't so, as he is out in front now of Christian. This is what he has to do. Finish positions ahead, a lot of positions ahead of Steve Christian to take that rookie title away. Marty Lindley, the two of them were neck and neck early in the season, but since the second half began, Christian has been pulling away.
And right now, Marty Lindley, I don't think is even thinking about the rookie title right now. All he's worried about is that 97 behind him. He's got a mirrorful of Marty Ward and a Hooters Chevrolet.
Mario Gosselin has closed the gap up to Bobby Gill. This is the battle for the lead, as Gill took the lead before the first lap was even over, and he has held it ever since. Marty Lindley and Marty Ward.
Marty Ward's sure getting a lot of sparks out of the right front of the car as he gets into the corner. I'm not sure if it's the right side sway bar arm link that's dragging on the ground or what it is, but right in the center of the corner when the car loads the most on the right front, you'll see some sparks coming out.
Well, you know that Marty Ward came here with a good setup because he won the race in May, He is a crew chief, after all, and knows how to set up a race car, so you figure his notebook is pretty full of how to put a car together for Peach State Speedway.
Yeah, and he said he likes this place. that means a lot as a driver. When you find a racetrack you like, you seem to run good there.
Well, he's from nearby South Carolina and races here at Peach State quite often. Johnny Rumley in 27 and Andy Thurman in the 47. They are the Blue Ridge Color Corp Chevy and, of course, the Nationally Fresh Mountain Springwater Ford, respectively, as we look off the back at Marty Lindley's Hallelujah Ford and Marty Ward right behind him. Slipping back a little bit there is Steve Christian in the distance, and then the rest of the field.
Good shot off of Andy Thurman's bumper and the Kita Copier's camera shot here.
And we look once again at Bobby Gill. 4 wins and a lock on the championship right now. All he has to do is keep it together. And Andy Thurman comes down underneath on Johnny Rumley, but there's a slow car in the way and he can't make the move.
Yeah, look at Rumley and Thurman have closed the door, closed up on Jay Fogelman right now, and we've got a good battle for third.
Once again, on board with Andy Thurman, looking at Marty Lindley. They just went around the 37 of Don Sprouse. Sprouse running the Brad Norris Auto Sales Ford. And we're under caution once again. This time, though, no spin, no problem. Debris on the racetrack is what the officials are saying. And, of course,
there it is.
Crackerjack camera crew picks it up.
Stay tuned for more Hooters Pro Cup racing.
Right here on Speed Vision.
Welcome back to the Miller Lite 250 here at Peach State Speedway. Let's go downstairs to Stephen Cox. Pit action.
Bill Plemons Jr. not getting the handling that he wants out of this race car. So the Hooters machine in, and you see a big wedge adjustment on both sides on the rear of the car, trying to make a handling adjustment on Bill's race car. Now, Bill is a 1995 and 96 champion here at Peach State Speedway, so he knows his way around this track, and he knows how to set up this race car.
Well, did you see the crew all bundled up?
They look like they put 4 rounds of bite in that car.
Man, that's a lot.
And they also made a tire pressure adjustment. He must have definitely not been happy with the way that car was handled.
The Iditarod sled dog race, the way the crews are bundled up down in the infield here tonight. It's a little chilly in North Georgia. As we look at our Discount Auto Parts field summary once again, Derek Kelly rounds out the top 10. Cars are all bunched up on the restart. Bobby Gill is still your leader with Mario Gosselin pushing him a little bit, and the two of them pulling away from Fogelman, who's under attack now by Johnny Rumley. There are your 2 leaders, and Mario comes up. Was that a tap or was that a little push with air cushion?
No, I don't think he touched him, but he sure was close.
Yeah, if they were going a little faster, you would have said he took the air off. Andy Thurman in 5th spot, giving us this look at Marty Ward, the winner here in May, as they go around the 85 of Calvin Redwine, whose problems continue here after he took a spin there on the 2nd lap of the race. Redwine down on the inside, still having some handling problems as his car gets a little wiggly as Marty Ward goes by. Ward still sparking a little bit, but it's not affecting the handling.
From this shot, it almost looked like it was the side skirt on the right side of the car.
So just a little bit of sheet metal rubbing the track, perhaps, for Marty Ward as he comes up behind Andy Thurman. There's Rumley behind Fogelman, and look at Rumley run in on him in the corner.
Yeah, you can see Johnny Rumley gets a good run on Jay Fogelman getting in, but it looks as they come off the corner, Jay Fogelman is able to pull him again by 1 or 2 cars.
By the way, under that latest caution, the 37 of Don Sprouse, the Brad Norris Auto Sales Ford, went behind the wall. We saw him having problems. Those problems turned out to be terminal. So along with Don Satterfield's Hawk Saw Blades car, we got 2 behind the wall right now. But 34 cars are still circling the racetrack. Here's Steve Christian, leading rookie. And behind him, it's the 16 of Brian Sockwell, who's starting to move towards the front a little bit.
And Brian Sockwell's not only got to look at Steve Christian out his front window, he's looking in his back window, and he's got Derek Kelly all over him. So he's like the cream in the Oreo cookie right now, not knowing where to go.
And look at this. Kelly is the guy really moving forward big time. He's moved up 8 spots, started 18th. He's running 10th, making 9th. And Derek Kelly takes another position away on the racetrack. He has got a very good handling race car, and his qualifying was not indicative of how good that car is. Those guys clearly set the car up to race, not to qualify.
Yeah, and this, with the weather and this type of racetrack and knowing what was going to happen tonight, you almost had to decide what you want to do. Do I really want to set up for qualifying or for the race? Derek Kelly's guys decided, well, we'll give up a little starting spot for the race. For qualifying, let's go for the race.
Bill Clemens Jr. pitted under the last caution, and that's why he has lost a few spots, but he's beginning to work his way up through the field just a little bit as he comes up on Jimmy McLean in the J&J Motor Ventures car. And we look at a big herd of cars on the racetrack. They are really bunched up. There's Darrell Gwynn in the Miller Lite car, number 67 we mentioned. Randy Cornwell, son of Gary, honorary crewman on that car down in the infield, and we have to assume he's bundled up pretty good. And we've got a problem on the racetrack and a caution at lap number 57 as Jonathan Brown has taken the number 9 car for a little twirl. The U.S. Tank and Cryogenic Chevy bringing out a caution here at Peach State. We're still under caution here at the Miller Lite 250. United Speed Alliance Racing Hooters Pro Cup season winding down with round number 18. As we mentioned, under caution, there's Jay Fogelman going in, and Stephen Cox is with him.
More air pressure adjustments for the Jay Fogelman crew. He's apparently having some kind of handling difficulties out there. They are really taking a lot of air out of the left rear tire. This thing is down to 8 pounds right now, and they're still taking more air out. So Jay is talking to his crew and trying to figure out why the cold weather is wreaking such havoc with these tires.
Jay Fogelman goes back out on the racetrack and still under caution. He doesn't lose a lap. Let's go back down to Stephen Cox with the crew chief.
Bryant, talk about Jay's car a little bit. What's the weather doing with these tire pressures, and how much of a factor is that?
It's really not the tire pressure. We thought we might have had a tire going down. The car was skating around a little bit. We've had 5 flat tires this year. We're running for the points. We thought we should just go ahead and bring it in and check it out. And while we were in here, we went ahead and adjusted it so we could try to make it a little bit better. Bobby and Mario are awful strong right now. I don't feel like we could have done anything with them without making an adjustment. So we brought it in to try to make it better also.
Pretty big gamble on track position, but you know, you're in a position where you have to gamble some now, aren't you?
Yeah, you got to gamble. We can't have a flat tire. Going to the back seems bad, but going a lap down is a lot worse. They're awful fast, and getting a lap back tonight would be pretty hard.
Is this cold weather going to buy you any tire life?
Well, the track's awful skatey right now, and the cold weather's not helping put any grip in it because there was no heat in the track today. So, and this is a very abrasive track, so I don't think this cold weather or this track will help tire wear at all. This is a pretty rough place.
Back to the green flag now with Bobby Gill. And on lap number 61, he is still the class of the field. After Fogelman went to the back, they, you know, I guess nothing to lose, everything to gain.
You know, I agree, though, with the crew chief's call is that they were having problems getting hold of the racetrack. They didn't know if it was a flat tire or not. Don't take the chance. Bring the car in. Let's make some adjustments. They saw that they didn't have a flat tire, so they said, okay, it's not a flat tire problem. Let's make some adjustments to make the car better. Nothing to lose. He's now made his mandatory pit stop. Again, he said, well, maybe tires aren't going to be a factor tonight. You know, hard to say. Now he's got track position because everyone in front of him is going to have to still pit.
But if he is able to stay out there, if the tires do appear as though they're going to go the distance, he's in the driver's seat.
He's in the driver. You got it exactly.
Yeah.
So it was a
gamble?
smart call. It was a gamble,
but a good move.
Yeah, but a calculated gamble. It wasn't as much as rolling the dice as everybody thinks.
Okay, race car driver and crew chief Bill Venturini says good move for Brian Tant and Jay Fogelman, and we're under caution again here, pretty quick, as we once again have debris on the racetrack. So they're going to slow them down, clean up the track, and then we'll go back, this time for real. Oh, a little chilly weather doesn't scare these people away from their racing here at Peach State Speedway. Let's go downstairs to Stephen Cox. More pit stop action here under yellow.
Jeff Agnew's car into the pits. They're setting the toe in because they knocked it out so badly when they made wall contact a few minutes ago trying to avoid the spinning car of Don Satterfield, guys. That explains so much time being spent in the pits right now by your defending champion. Another guy coming back into the pits for more adjustments. The 0 car of Steve Christian. Steve told me before the race he felt very strongly about his race car. They qualified in 8th place. Just a quick check under the hood. They have already made a wedge adjustment on this race car, and Steve's going to head back out.
You know, Brian, when they opened the hood, all his crew chief did was grab the sway bar to make sure that it wasn't preloaded. You know, he wanted to make sure that they weren't fighting a problem that they'd have to correct later, but he was happy with it.
And likewise, Eddie Bear's crew making some adjustments, but at the rear end of the Fidelity Printing Ford as we go back to green. Lap number 68 out of 250 in the Miller Lite 250 here. Bobby Gill leads Mario Gosselin. Johnny Rumley and Andy Thurman have moved up, and look at Marty Ward, who has come up through the field to run 5th right now. Started 9th, so he and Derek Kelly are the guys going forward.
And it's not hard to miss that 97 car of Marty Ward.
Oh, another caution. We just cannot seem to get more than a few laps under green here as we've got another caution on the racetrack. And that gives us an opportunity to go to this week's Tech Tip with Stephen Cox.
A heat buildup problem associated with the brakes caused a couple of very big crashes earlier this year. One of them to this car, Jabe Jones's 09 car at Lakeland. What was happening was there was too much heat buildup inside the front right tire. Now that caused this seal right around the lip of the tire up against the wheel to give way under too much pressure. It burst and the tire blew in the middle of a race, causing a serious accident. Now it occurred because they are in such close proximity, the brakes to the inside of the wheel, that the heat buildup caused extra pressure and a deterioration of the seal between the tire and the wheel. It was a serious problem. A number of drivers have now decided on a unique solution. Number one, you can run duct work from the front body work all the way back inside the brake caliper and the brake rotor system to keep it cool with fresh air. The next thing you can do is get a wheel, a new wheel that has a larger slot. That's not to keep fresh air from coming in from the outside. It's actually to take the heat inside the brake caliper and push it to the outside of the race car and relieve the heat situation from bursting the front right tire. That was a serious problem this year, but in the last few races, drivers have had a lot of very good luck dealing with it.
Our Tech Tip is brought to you by Alleluia, a thirst-busting fuel. And some good information coming from Stephen Cox in our Tech Tip on tires and brakes and heat. A little more debris on the racetrack. We'll be right back after we clean it up. Three quick cautions, and they're working on the cars down on the inside there. The 36 car of Trent Owens, the 1-800-B Petty Pontiac crew, gets him out, and the 54 of Ralph Carnes, the Little Joe's Transportation Chevy, still sitting there while the crew works on the left side of the car. So some of these guys have opted to come in. One more round left in the Ford Champions Challenge, and that'll complete the season at USA International on November 27th. Gosselin, Kelly, and Porter, the guys with a shot at the bonus money at the end of the season. Mario Gosselin currently running second as we restart on lap number 74 with our Sunoco full field rundown. There you can see the top 5. Marty Ward is there, and Marty Lindley starts the second 5 with Tim Clayton in 10th spot. Clay Dale from nearby Jefferson, Georgia runs 12th in his number 24 car, the Williams Brothers Lumber. Karen Schultz moving up through the field in her Jackaroo Sauces car, and we also are looking there at Steve Christian, who pitted and is trying to get back up through the field. Down into the latter part, Jimbo Mann there, and you can see Calvin Redwine's problems continue. Jonathan Brown, who brought out a caution. Jeff Agnew, who's had troubles, and a couple of guys already out of the race. Pretty good run going for Jeremy Pate in the 62 car here this evening. Infrequent visitor to the Hooters Pro Cup in his Pate Racing Enterprises Chevrolet that started in 28th spot. There he is in the 62 car. Kind of caught there, just going a lap down as the leaders get up to him.
You know, Bobby Gill has led from the drop of the green flag. And he's kind of just like on cruise control right now. Mario Gosselin, after about 5 or 6 laps under green, is able to close up on him, but that's as far as he gets, just to his back bumper.
Steve Christian looking at Jay Fogelman. These are two guys who stopped, gave up track position to make adjustments on the car, and they're trying to work their way back up through the field. On the outside of them is the 52 of Jason Bowser. And it's rush hour traffic at Peach State right now on this half-mile high bank, 18 degrees. These guys can keep their foot in it pretty good, and you can hear that they only feather the throttle a little bit coming in and out of the turns.
Yeah, like you said, you know, Jay Fogelman and Steve Christian have pitted, so everyone in front of them, you know, the majority of everyone in front of them is going to still have to pit yet, so they don't really even have to worry about racing for position because everyone's going to have to pit and come in behind them.
Bobby Gill really stretching out his lead over Mario Gosselin and the rest of the field. In fact, Gosselin sliding back a little bit. And here's Derek Kelly from 18th up to 5th. What a run to the front. by the driver of the Discount Auto Parts Chevrolet as he goes inside on Andy Thurman in the 47 car there. And looking at Rumley, Marty Ward, that's the top 5.
You know, Derek Kelly had a good run going earlier this year at Hickory, won there. Then he's run into some mechanical problems. You know, when everything goes good for him, he seems to run up front. But he's had, you know, some races where he's, you know, he broke a rear end and he got involved in a wreck once. So, you know, Derek Kelly's looking for some good things tonight.
Marty Ward up into 4th spot, comes down inside, takes Derek Kelly with him. And Marty Ward is marching towards the front. There's Derek Kelly. We're on board as he comes down inside on Johnny Rumley. And this guy has really hit the setup tonight.
Yeah, Derek Kelly is really on the move right now. You know, Marty Ward makes a pass, and then you think Marty Ward's going to pull away, and all of a sudden you look, and there's Derek Kelly right on his bumper right now.
Bobby Gill way out in front. Mario Gosselin in 2nd spot, and the 62 of Jeremy Pate is in between them right now.
You notice, you know, we were talking about, Stephen Cox was talking about wheel heat, brake heat, you know, on the right front tires. Boy, look at Mario Gosselin's right front wheel. It's glowing red. His right front is hotter than anyone else's right now.
Marty Ward and Derek Kelly. Ward started 9th. Derek Kelly started 18th. And look at him go. Field spreading out just a little bit now as they have come up behind Mario Gosselin. Gosselin is definitely losing the handle a little bit, and there a little slip. A little slip on the number 10 car as the W.J. Clemens Investment Chevrolet gave a little hitch there. Gosselin started on the pole for the 7th time this season, and he's got 5 wins on the year already. In spite of all that, he's only 3rd in points because he's had some bad luck.
Yeah, boy, the minute he opened that door, Marty Ward just took the opportunity, and Derek Kelly came right along with him again.
Something is wrong, I'm just guessing, but Mario Gosselin doesn't usually give up spots on the racetrack that easily, and he must be feeling like something is wrong with his car. Look, he's already fading back. Those 2 guys went right around him, and he's already losing a car length or 2 to them. As we look once again at our field summary, it has changed since the last time we saw it. Scott Wimmer now running in 10th spot in his number 25 Jack Crew Gold Sauces Chevrolet, started 19th.
Yeah, I don't know if that right front brake is actually giving Mario a little problems or not. You know, when it gets that hot, sometimes you have to back off the brake pedal. You can't go in as hard as you want because the pedal starts to fade on you. And once that happens, it's like a catch-22. The brake pedal starts to fade a little, so you pump it a little more. And the more you pump it, the more heat you put into it, the quicker it starts to fade. Oh, look at Andy Thurman a little sideways coming off the corner.
He's leading. He's the sheriff in a posse for 5th spot right now. Andy Thurman holds the number 5 position. And then it's Johnny Rumley, Marty Lindley, and the rest. Looking off the back bumper there, and that Akita Copier's onboard shot. Down on to the infield goes Mario Gosselin.
In the pits.
Gosselin has taken the car down onto pit road, so what looked like a little problem is obviously more serious than we thought.
Yeah,
Mario Gosselin, the pole sitter, is on pit road. The crew is going under the hood.
Yeah, they're going under the hood. There's definitely a problem under the hood.
And we've got a caution flag. Now that's going to help Gosselin. He went in under green, but now we're under caution, and he's getting past, so he is losing a lap. Let's go down on pit road. Stephen Cox has tracked down the 10 crew.
Mario Gosselin into the pits. Now, we knew that his car was going to push just a little bit because he told us before the race, hey, we're going to set up the car just a little bit tight, but that is not the problem. They're working on the other end. They have a carburetor problem. They don't know what it is. Mario is frustrated inside the cockpit. All he can do is sit there and wait.
Well, he is definitely waving his arms around there as Darrell Gwynn and the 08 of Ronnie Davidson brought out the caution. Here at Peach State Speedway, we're under yellow again. Tail end of the cleanup here under caution at Peach State Speedway, brought out as Darrell Gwynn turned around with Ronnie Davidson's Eckerman Chevy. So they're cleaning the debris off the racetrack. Here's another look at it. And yeah, I would say he got some help.
He had a little help there. You can definitely see it.
Darrell Gwynn in the Miller Lite car going around with a little bit of help apparently from Ronnie Davidson, Eckerman Chevy. Here are the 2 remaining races on the schedule for the Hooters Pro Cup Series. St. Augustine in early November, and then we wrap it all up with the final race in the 4 Champions Challenge and the final race of the season at USA International in Lakeland, Florida later in the month. Back to the green flag. A little wiggle down on the inside there, but Bobby Gill takes Marty Ward racing once again. As we look at our field summary, it has changed once again. As Ward and Kelly have come up from the back of the field, Marty Lindley starts the second 5, and Randy Porter rounds out the top 10. Tim Clayton with a good run going in the Budweiser Chevy.
Bobby Gill's not been able to pull away from Marty Ward like he had earlier from Mario Goslin.
Oh, and another caution. Boy, they come thick and fast here as the 52 and 48 have gone around. Jason Bowser in the 52 with Jimbo Mann and the Sterling Silver Race Team Ford bringing out a quick caution here again as they were in the middle of the field.
Yeah, you can see the whole back bumper of both cars.
Left rear tire down on Bowser's car. Damage to the sheet metal on the back end. Those guys are going to need some attention in the pits, and while they get it, we'll take another break. Watch these messages. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Peach State Speedway. I'm Brian Trevor. Next to me is Bill Venturini. Downstairs is Stephen Cox.
Tell me what the problem is with Mario's car. I know you were looking at carburetor and possibly a valve spring to start with.
I think when we had the last wreck, we didn't check the fuel cell, and the fuel pickup moved in the tank. It kind of ran out of gas. Now we fill it back up, and it's okay. So we're going to find out what's wrong later.
All right, there's another guess. In any case, they're not getting fuel to the engine just quite the way they would like in Mario Goslin's car. Bobby Gill, no problems for him, except that Marty Ward is all over his bumper.
Yeah, not a good feeling for the Goslin crew to know, well, okay, we're not sure if we fixed the problem or not. You know, we're not even sure what the problem is, but it's working fine right now. Let's just go for it.
Well, what can they do? Top up the tank is really all they can do. If the pickup is moved, at least they got to get get a full load on board.
You know, that's something that comes with, you know, running big tracks and having that type of experience. You know, whenever you wreck a car real bad, that usually the fuel cell pickup does move in the fuel cell. So whenever, you know, a lot of guys don't even realize it. You crash your car, you fix the right front corner, you put a new front clip on it. Nobody ever looks at the fuel cell. 90% of the time that fuel cell pickup does move. You got to take the fuel bladder apart and reposition it again.
Brian Vickers in the 42 car up high. Johnny Rumley trying to work him on the low side, but he holds on. Here comes Rumley again, and now we go to the battle between the 07 of Tim Clayton, Marty Lindley on the outside, and the Jackaroo Sauces 25 of Scott Wimmers working down low. You know, a lot of action deep in the field.
You mentioned the 42 car Brian Vickers. No relation to car number 95, Stacy Vickers. Brian Vickers' father is Clyde Vickers, who owns CV Products.
Look at Derek Kelly come down on Marty Ward and take second spot away. And meanwhile, Bobby Gill, unconcerned about any of that, because he's got the best car on the racetrack so far. But Derek Kelly may have something to say for Bobby Gill here, who's had a pretty easy go of it. But now the fast guys are coming to the front. And Derek Kelly seems to be the fastest of them all.
Yeah, Derek Kelly's, you know, one underneath Marty Ward, and he's after Bobby Gill right now, and he looks like he's the only guy so far tonight, like you said, that's been able to, and he hasn't even been able to give Bobby Gill a challenge yet, but, you know, it's showing that he has a possibility that he may be able to catch him.
Marty Ward gathering it up a little bit, closing in, it looks like maybe a car length or two after getting shaken by Derek Kelly going by him pretty quick. Now, we mentioned Karen Schultz earlier carrying the colors of Jackaroo. Let's hear what she had to say about that new sponsor.
Michael Rich is not able to make it here this weekend. He is over at the Busch race. So the Jackaroo company, they wanted to keep their name out there represented at the racetracks. And they knew that we were going to be here for the next 3 races, so we put together a program.
I think Karen Schultz would hope that Michael Rich stays away for a little while right now.
Well, she will carry those colors well. Karen Schultz, a very talented race car driver. She damaged her car badly several races back. The crew has been scrambling to try to get it right again, and they're making progress. That progress is certainly going to be helped by Jackaroo on the car.
You got it. You know, money seems to solve a lot of problems for a race team.
99, oh, and a spin on the 42 after we were talking nice about Brian Vickers. 16-year-old youngster in the 2 Quick Performance Shock Chevrolet. He takes his car for an unexpected tour and brings out another caution here.
Didn't look like any contact, though.
Oh, I'm not so sure
about
that. Johnny Rumley was, as we are fond of saying, in the neighborhood.
Yeah, it definitely. You come off the corner like that, you're almost in the straightaway, and the car starts to spin. a good indication you've had a little help from the guy behind you.
Brian Vickers, though, the young man doing a fine job to keep it together and minimal damage. A lot of action down on pit road now as a whole bunch of lead lap cars are going in, including Marty Ward, and Stephen Cox is down there.
Well, Marty Lindley is not only in the hunt for this particular race, he is also in the hunt for the season championship for rookie points. Marty has run very, very well this year, and he's come in for a full stop. This should be his only stop of the race with a 4-tire change.
Marty Lindley going back out. A lot of action still in the pits, including Randy Porter.
Randy Porter back in the Hooters Pro Cup Series once again. Now, he has run very well. They just had the jack slip out from under the left side of the race car, or they would have already been out. If you notice, there's no one else in front or behind Randy because he spent so much time in pit row.
Well, a tough break for the crew on the number 32 car, the Porter Motorsports Ford. Still some guys working down there. We'll be right back to the Peach State Speedway Miller Lite 250. Still under caution, and once again, Jermaine Gosselin is downstairs with Stephen Cox.
Well, this appears to be your big chance and maybe your only chance to get your lap back. Can you do it?
We're going to try to get it. We'll talk to Bobby, but he's got pressure from Derek Kelly, so we don't know. We see how it turns out.
Are you trying to cut any kind of deals here?
Try to talk to him, but if he's got too much pressure from behind, we'll have to let him go.
Jermaine Gosselin with an interesting blend of French Canada and Florida in his accent as he crew chiefs for his brother. Mario Gosselin down on the inside. Bobby Gill stands on the gas in a big hurry because Derek Kelly's right there. And if Gosselin's going to get the lap back, he's got to hustle.
And I don't think there were any deals made looking at that restart.
Well, he is in second, but now he's got to get past Bobby Gill. And Gill, so far, no one really has been able to run lap times with him except Derek Kelly. But Kelly's been coming from 18th all the way up to second where he is. And really, you know, Gill doesn't have to stop just yet. He can hang on out there for halfway money.
Yeah, you know, Marty Ward pitted. That was something that, you know, we had talked about at break, was that, you know, Bobby Gill didn't pit. He didn't have to. Nobody's challenging him. He knows halfway money's coming up. Why not stay out there, make the $1,000? Marty Ward, who was running third at the time, says, well, I don't have a shot for the halfway challenge money. Let's pit. Let's get our tires. Let's make our adjustment. Let's go for the win in the race right now.
And Derek Kelly looking down inside on Mario Gosselin with sparks flying. Still only a lap or two into this restart. So once again, tire pressure's not quite up to temperature. That's our theory, generally speaking, when we see a little bit of chassis action on the track or even sheet metal dragging. Now Gosselin once again goes up. Derek Kelly comes inside. And Mario Gosselin, instead of getting a lap back, has gone a position back through the field. Jay Fogelman, on the other hand, started fourth and did stop. Let's spend some time with this young man who grew up in Durham, North Carolina, guided by his father's love for racing.
My dad was a race car driver, had driven cars since he was 15 years old. And he started me racing flat track bikes when I was 6 years old. And we ran 4 or 5 years there. It progressed to go-karts. My dad decided that he needed to get out of the cars and put me in a limited car.
From there, Jay took his competitive attitude and started winning, and eventually went on to compete in the Busch Grand Nationals.
We wanted to beat the best people at the best race every week, and I think that made me a lot better race car driver, and I think it made my people that work on the car a lot better, because we had to adjust to a different racetrack every week. And that leading into the Busch Series and now the Hooters Pro Cup, I think it made me adapt well with the win at South Boston, to come back and win the race and it be as tight as it was right down to the last lap. I don't think you could get any more emotion if it was winning Daytona, as far as that instant emotion.
With his first 1999 Hooters Pro Cup victory, Jay looks back at how he first got involved with this racing series.
They came up with this Hooters Pro Cup, and we took a really bad race car and ran 4th or 5th there at Orange County with it the first time, and said, you know, this is something that maybe we want to do. Well, it's skyrocketed since then. Competition-wise, I've never seen a series in 2 years grow as quickly as this one has. We've got a lot of good crew members that are involved with this series right now, and it's fun. We're really having a lot of fun racing today.
With 11 out of 17 top 5 finishes and 17 out of 17 top 10s, Jay's success continues.
I've succeeded and made the most of everything that I've been involved with as far as racing, and I don't think that I've left anything on the table. If we come back and run another year at Hooters and win a championship, the thing about it is everybody here will be headed in the same direction. We race actually for the love of racing, and I think that's why we've been successful.
Jay Fogelman of the Premier Motorsports Ford is up to 10th after already taking his mandatory stop, and it could be that strategy is going to play in his favor.
Boy, what words of a true racer. We race for the love of racing. I can relate to that. Sometimes my wife says, you know, that's not what we need to do. You need to race for the money. But, you know, racers, you know, you put the helmet on, you get behind the wheel, you forget about the money.
Bobby Gill way out in front right now and looking good for the Lucas Oil Products Halfway Award, among other things here, including perhaps win number 5 for the season. But he's going to start by taking the halfway challenge money from Lucas Oil, $1,000 after 125 laps led for Bobby Gill. Another feather in the cap for the man who might be champion when this season is done. Let's look at our Hallmark Race Trailers halfway recap that began with the green flag, and already at that point, Bobby Gill looked like a race leader. He challenged Mario Gosselin and had the front before the first lap was even done. By lap 20, a caution flew when Don Satterfield took the Hawk Saw Blade Chevy into the wall, and Jeff Agnew clipped him on the way by, damage to both cars. Mario Gosselin stopped under green for a fuel delivery problem and went a lap down. Then on lap 108, Derek Kelly came inside on Marty Ward to take second position away and put himself in a position to challenge Gill for the lead. But Gill held on to the halfway mark and took the money. The Lucas Oil Products halfway leader is Bobby Gill. And there's Marty Ward, who had made his mandatory stop earlier, and he's working his way up through the field, going past the 62 of Jeremy Pate, the Pate Racing Enterprises Chevrolet. If Derek Kelly had the fastest car on the track, Marty Ward might have the fastest car on the track right now.
Yeah, but he's got a lot of cars now to get around because he made his pit stop.
A lot of good cars. Steve Christian right there, Derek Kelly among others, and Jonathan Brown is backwards on the racetrack in the number 9 car. His U.S. Tank and Cryogenic Chevy for the second time has brought out a yellow flag here at Peach State Speedway. So we're under caution again. Cars are circling slowly, and a well-timed one for the leaders. Bobby Gill already collected the halfway money. Now he can take a pit stop, and standing by down there, of course, is Stephen Cox.
Well, Bobby Gill is your points leader. He is your race leader. He has already taken the Lucas Oil Halfway Challenge money, and now he comes in for one and only one pit stop if everything goes well. Right side rubber already changed, left side rubber going on. I asked the crew just before they came in, I said, hey, does Bobby want any kind of adjustment on this race car? And all 3 of them looked up at me and said, no.
Why would you want to change a car that's led every lap since the drop of the green? I'd shoot my crew if they made a change.
I don't know, Bill. Let me think about that, and I'll get back to you on the other side of the break. United Speed Alliance Racing is brought to you by Hooters Restaurants, delightfully tacky, yet unrefined. And by Discount Auto Parts, the official auto parts of the USAR Hooters Pro Cup Series. Pit stops continue with Jay Fogelman bringing the 4 car down and Stephen Cox.
Jay Fogelman qualified outside of row number 2. He is second in the championship points for the year. Jay has already come in for an unscheduled stop earlier in the race. They made a serious wedge adjustment on the rear end of this race car on the suspension. They just went back and put another round of adjustment on the left rear. In addition to that, some changes to the left front, another left front tire. They didn't like the one they put on moments ago, and Jay is back out on the racetrack.
Yeah, they were doing something other than just changing the left front tire. It almost looked like he may have been trying to make a wedge adjustment with the left front tire wedge bolt. You know, usually you don't see that, but he was doing definitely something underneath the hood, you know, when he had the tire on.
Some fairly significant developments in terms of restart here, as Mario Gosselin is actually the last car on the lead lap, so he starts in front of race leader Bill Clemens Jr. in the number 7 car. Yeah, then it's Stacy Vickers in the 95.
Got to remember, you know, Mario Gosselin was a lap down, but he was a lap down only to the leader, and when the leader pitted, he then all of a sudden made up his lap. But once the yellow's out, you can't go all the way around the racetrack, so he has to stay in the front of the field, but he is the last car on the lead lap.
On board with Darrell Gwynn in the Miller Lite car, number 67. And you're looking at Bill Clemens Jr.'s number 7 car and the 10 of Mario Gosselin disappearing in the distance. And Marty Ward also, who stayed out on the racetrack because he stopped earlier, is advancing quite a few positions as well. You can see his bright orange car, the sister car to this one. And here's the boss now.
Yeah, that's I'm thinking about this. Okay, the boss is now leading the race in the Hooters Chevrolet car number 7. In front of him, the car he sponsors, the W.J. Clemens Investment Chevrolet with Mario Gosselin, you know, is running right in front of him. And then about 5 cars behind him, the other Hooters Restaurant car, sponsored car, which is also his crew chief, Marty Ward. This guy's got his hands involved in everything in this series.
Whoa, big spin on the racetrack. Ed Bear takes his Fidelity Printing Ford around. And also involved is the 85 of Calvin Redwine. His Redwine Motorsports Chevy is there. Charlie Ford's Sun Graphics Chevy is down in the grass, and we've got mayhem all over the racetrack here. Ford appears to be undamaged and moving again. And we'll have another look at it. There's the 85 of Redwine down inside, but Bear's already going around, 4 or 5 cars in front of him. Then Redwine locks it up, just misses, but gets turned anyway.
Yeah, you can see the 39 car, but Ed Bear starts to spin first. 85, you know, he locks him up to avoid hitting him. Charlie Ford, I mean, he's not even in the corner, and he's already starting to spin. I don't know if he got a little help to turn him around or not.
So a little bit of damage to the 39 car. Let's go downstairs to Stephen Cox with the interim crew chief of the 7 car.
Jeff, you guys got a really good run going here, and you've got a driver that knows this racetrack very well. Are you and Bill talking much?
Yeah, we started the race out and the car was a little bit loose. Brought the car in a couple of different times to tighten it up. He seems to like it right now, and he's running a good smooth line. We're going to try to go the rest of the way on fuel and see if we can't win him on here at his home track.
Can you go the rest of the way on tires, though?
Yeah, I believe we can. We got the car working real good. Tire wear's looking real good in our favor, and we're going to see if we can go 160 laps on this last set of tires.
All right, Jeff Pittman, a young man getting a big job to shoulder here tonight at Peach State Speedway under the full moon. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Miller Lite 250 here at Peach State Speedway, and a lot of action has already happened. You know there's more to come because we're well into the second half of the race, and that's when it counts. As Bill Clemens Jr. takes him back to the green flag with Stacy Vickers right behind him in the number 95 car, and then it is a scramble. As we look at our Discount Auto Parts field summary, the top 10 finishes with Bobby Gill, who stopped under caution after taking the halfway money, and he's already back up to 10.
Yeah, but who we didn't see in that top 10, who is now on the lead lap, and he's made up that whole distance of the 1 lap on the racetrack, is Mario Gosselin. That yellow came out, he was able to close up, go all the way around the racetrack now.
So he is not only on the tail end of the lead lap, he's on the tail end of the field, because rather than being just in front of the leader, he's all the way around, and now he can work his way through the traffic. Bill Clemens Jr. skating away from Stacy Vickers, and the Miller Lite car of Darrell Gwynn is in 3rd spot right behind them. So the front of the field has a whole new look here. We're also seeing the number 30 of Mark Nesbitt there, the State Fair brand Corn Dog Chevrolet that started in 20th spot, and he's knocking on the door up front. Look at this mad dash in about, what is this, just outside the top 10. And
look at Sockwell trying to make it 3 wide in the middle of the corner.
There's the 54 of Ralph Carnes, a Little Joe's Transportation Chevy, kind of at the front of things. Down inside, the 85 of Calvin Redwine that's had his problems. And it is definitely a big bunch of race cars back there just outside the top 10.
Another good shot off of the Akita Copier bumper cam out of Andy Thurman.
Andy Thurman's recent success, we talked to him about his move to the front points.
Everything's kind of coming together. You know, the guys are getting better in the pits, and, you know, we've had good pit stops, and, you know, just starting to put it all together. And hopefully, you know, we've still got some room to go in the points. I think, you know, there's a mathematical chance we could possibly get up to 7th or 8th in the points from 11th now. So with 3 races to go, that's what we're shooting for. We felt like about halfway through the season, if we could make it in the top 10 in points, we were going to be pretty happy with the season. So, you know, it's how it started out. So we're looking forward to the next 3 races, and hopefully we'll be there.
Knocking on the top 10 in points, 19th when the second half of the season began. We're looking now at our Sunoco full field rundown. There's Tim Edwards rounding out the top 10 in his Edwards Racing Chevrolet. Gill is up to 9th. Johnny Rumley is in 11th spot, and Tim Clayton in the 07 rounds out the top 15. There's Andy Thurman in 16th spot. Clay Dale from nearby Jefferson, Georgia in 19th. And Jimmy McLean running 21st in his number 3 car, the J&J Motor Ventures Chevy. Calvin Redwine's problems have him in 27th. Jonathan Brown with a couple of spins. And 3 cars out of the race. Jimbo Man, Don Sprouse and Don Satterfield early in the race went out. And here is Marty Ward in the number 97 Hooters car, and he's right behind the boss now.
Yeah,
now what does he do?
He didn't waste any time getting around those other 5 guys in front of him. Now he's okay, there's 1 car in front of me, and okay, I think he's thinking, how do I do this politely?
With grace and dignity. Do I put a fender on him? No, that's not an option.
No.
Do I hope he makes a mistake all on his own and slide by on the inside? That's a better option.
Yeah.
Do I just show him that I've made my car better than his right away? No, let's wait a few laps and let him figure that out for himself. But in any case, Bill Clemens Jr.'s crew chief, Marty Ward, is right behind him, and they're running 1 and 2 right now in the Hooters cars.
This is definitely a tribute to Marty Ward on knowing how to set up a car for Peach State Speedway right now, when you've got the 2 cars you work on running 1 and 2.
And Marty Ward looking down inside. Here goes the move. Well, he politely let him be out in front for what, 4 or 5 laps, and now he slides by to take the lead. Marty Ward takes the lead away from his boss, you might say, Bill Clemens Jr., but it is still Hooters cars 1 and 2. They've just swapped spots. And Marty Ward, who won here in May, is now the leader here at Peach State Speedway.
Boy, you know, if I was Bill Clemens Jr., I'd have a little clause written in my contract about, you know, being my crew chief, you just maybe shouldn't be able to beat the boss. Nah, but Bill Clemens is a true competitor, and he knows Marty Ward's there to win, just like he is.
Looking back now at Randy Porter in the Porter Motorsports Ford. And here we're on board with Darrell Gwyn's number 67, looking squarely at the back end of Steve Christian. Christian, who is 3rd among lap leaders. He has completed over 99% of the laps this season. And there's Randy Cornwell, an honorary crew member on the 67 car of Darrell Gwyn, son of our friend, who we miss very dearly, Gary Cornwell, former media relations director for the Hooters Pro Cup Series. But Randy's there enjoying racing, and so are his 2 sisters.
And here's the 2 guys battling for the Rookie of the Year this year. Marty Lindley, the Hallelujah Ford Taurus, and Steve Christian and Lucas Oil Products Chevrolet running bumper to bumper.
They always find each other out there on the racetrack somehow, don't they?
Hey, as long as Marty Lindley doesn't have problems, these 2 guys seem to run alongside each other.
Bobby Gill up to 6th position, so after his stop just past halfway, he's moving through the field. Marty Lindley and Steve Christian.
Running 6th. I mean, this guy pits, you know, on lap 138, and all of a sudden he's back up to 6th. He definitely has one of the fastest cars. I think between him and Marty Ward, I don't know which one's faster right now.
Well, they're running lap times very close together, but Bobby Gill's in deep traffic, and we've got problems out there on the racetrack once again, and there's still more. It continues with the 24 car of Clay Dale getting out of shape.
Yeah, originally,
but no caution.
Yeah, Jeremy Pate got a little sideways in the corner, but you know, everyone checked up, got on the brakes. We saw tire smoke coming from everywhere. No caution. Nobody hit anything. Nobody spun. So, you know, we're back running under green.
No major dents. No blood, no foul. We keep right on going here at Peach State Speedway. There's the 62 of Jeremy Pate that had some problems. And down on the inside, Jeff Agnew, his crew has been working on that car all night after he had some heavy damage there. Clipped Don Satterfield early in the race, and since then, Agnew has been struggling, and you can see the handling is not right on that car yet.
Yeah, the whole right side of that car's been torn off, so Jeff's just going to try and finish tonight and get some points.
The left front tire was pointing north. The right front was sort of north by northeast there for a while. The right rear was flat as a pancake. And that crew has had a long night here at Peach State Speedway in the Miller Lite 250. There is Stacy Vickers in the 95 car. And look at Martin Nesbitt in the 3-0 here. The State Fair brand Corn Dogs car moving to the front. He comes down inside on Trent Owens.
You know, March started 20th. He hasn't been up front, but right now he's running 4th. But look who's in his mirror, Bobby Gill.
There's that naturally fresh dressing and dips car. Bobby Gill, the points leader, the early leader in this race, and he's working on Martin Nesbitt right now for 5th spot.
Yeah.
Tag, you're it. And he just took 4th position away, making 4th. Randy Porter got caught up in that battle. And there's sparks flying just in front of Mario Gosselin, as Stacy Vickers' car sending a shower up there at him.
It looked like he just touched the wall right in the center of the straightaway. But, you know, getting back to Bobby Gill, this guy has been, like, flawless since he came out mid-season with his new car, his new sponsor, you know, Naturally Fresh Dressings and Dips. You know, I don't know who was the smart one here. You know, was Mike White, the marketing director for Eastern Foods, was he the one that was, okay, let's get on this guy's car that's winning, or did the money and the sponsorship help Bobby Gill? I think it's, like we said earlier, I think it's a combination of both.
Whoa! And right behind, well, that's Karen Schultz taking her brand new Jackaroo sponsored car for a little infield detour. And around the outside goes Clay Dale.
Boy, she did a good job of not letting that thing, you know, get out from under her. She slid sideways, kept it under, I guess you could say kept it under control. She kept it from wrecking anyone or getting the defense. Just kept on going, had it in the grasp, kept it headed in the right direction.
Well, the leader, Marty Ward, was coming up strong behind her, and that might have distracted her just a little bit as Marty Ward was searching for a line either inside or out. Karen Schultz with a momentary hesitation there, but she gathered it back up. Marty Ward slides right on by. And he is putting cars' laps down in wholesale numbers here now. Right behind Jay Fogelman, who in the 4 car started 4th, pitted with a strategy that has turned against him at this point.
He had to pit twice, you know, so it put him further behind, and Marty Ward's car is definitely hooked up right now.
I think he is by far the fastest car on the racetrack, because even when he's in traffic, his lap times are comparable to anybody out there. Mario Gosselin back on the lead lap, as we mentioned already, but deep in the field right now. Comes down inside on Ed Bear who spun a while ago. And he's getting tapped on by Martin Nesbitt a little bit on the outside. Mario Gosselin 3rd in points, but pretty much out of reach. If this race ends and he doesn't make up some serious points, it's gonna just about eliminate him from a chance at the championship, and Bowser goes around. The 52 car of Jason Bowser for the 2nd time tonight brings out a caution, and this time it's late in the race. And Jeremy Bowser looking for a way to get back in.
Yeah, that crumpled deck lid isn't from this spin. That was from a previous wreck.
So a little more damage. No, actually, he didn't hurt the car any worse, but we're under caution again. The Miller Lite 250 continuing under caution here at Peach State Speedway. A lot of good green flag racing there for a while. Jabe Jones.
Good jump.
Yep, good jump there. Has his lap back for the moment on Marty Ward, but you know what? Ward is so fast, you figure it's only going to be a little bit of time before he slides past the 09 Coors Light car of Jones. Jones, one of 5 Georgia drivers in the race here tonight. Marty Ward is pretty successful here in Georgia, but he's actually from South Carolina.
Yeah, you know, earlier they made a comment, this was Bill Clements' home track. Let me tell you, racing at your home track definitely gives you an advantage as a race car driver. You're so much more comfortable with it. You're not worried about racing the racetrack. All you're doing is worrying about getting the car to work and racing the other guys. Where the layout and the corners just become natural to you because you've been racing here for so long. So you know, Bill Clements is running up front, but you know, part of that is because he's comfortable at this racetrack.
Well, you got 3 Georgia boys running together right now. Bobby Gills from Dalton, that's in the northern part of the state, and further west up towards Tennessee.
Yeah, but look where he's running.
Well, he just made a pass for 2nd place on Bill Clements Jr., who's from Locust Grove. That's down closer to Atlanta Motor Speedway, south of Atlanta. And then Jabe Jones is from Toccoa. That's pretty close by here. So all 3 of these guys could call Peach State their home track. Bill Clements definitely does. Clay Dale's from nearby Jefferson. That's really where the racetrack is located. And Steve Christian is from Buford, Georgia. That's also up in these parts, as they say. Here's a close battle. Derek Kelly right up behind the 3 of Jimmy McLean. And on the outside, the 9 of Jonathan Brown, who's had a couple of spins. There's Brown's car on the left as he edges over next to Tim Clayton.
Yeah, kind of like a little up that, you know.
Man, this is close quarters racing.
Yep, there is a lot of traffic right now.
But Derek Kelly, who has been pretty quick all night, still quick and edging his way through the traffic. Marty Ward is way up front. Derek Kelly trying to get by the 95 of Stacy Vickers.
Just as you said, he gets underneath him coming off the corner.
And shoots right by. He made that look awful easy.
He made that look really easy.
Yeah. Once he got inside, he just jetted away. And Derek Kelly is on the move. There's Mario Gosselin in his number 10 car, W.J. Clemens Investment Chevrolet, pole sitter for this race, who came into the pits unscheduled under green, had a fuel delivery problem. Fortunately for him, a caution came out very quickly thereafter, and he only went one lap down.
Yeah, but since then, Brian, Marty Ward's been so quick, he's already put him another lap down. Boy, did you see in the middle of the corner there, Andy Thurman's car kind of just took off. He ended up in the third lane. I don't know if he lifted or if he had a problem or not. No, he's back racing right now. He must have just figured, it's time for me to lift. I don't want to wreck the car. Let's settle in. We'll get back where we belong.
And out of all those cars that went by, Mario Gosselin has still got the hot right front brake.
Yeah, we've noticed that though. The last couple of races, his front rotors are really the most glowing red out of anybody on the racetrack.
Jim Clayton is the tail end of the top 10 right now in his 07 Budweiser car. There's Scott Wimmer still on the lead lap with Marty Lindley just in front of him. Brian Sockwell is starting to come alive a little bit here late in the race. Sockwell started 10th, kind of eased back through the field for a while, but he's beginning to sort of chug his way towards the front.
Have you noticed something here with all of these guys racing in this group? Nobody has picked a specific line they want to stay in. One lap, the guy's down low, he's going underneath somebody. The next lap, he moves up high to go around him. These guys, look at this, up high, down low. Everyone's just jockeying for position right now.
A very racy track here with a cold surface at Peach State. We mentioned before, fall has definitely hit in North Georgia tonight. Its temperature is down in the mid-40s, low 40s even. These guys are racing awful hot. Derek Kelly down inside on Sockwell. Very close together, and he goes by. Derek Kelly for now gets past Brian Sockwell of the 16 car, Yermo Grading Chevrolet. Listen to that motor singing.
And it sounds like he's turning a lot of RPM.
He's got it twisted pretty tight. Derek Kelly coming up behind Martin Nesbitt now, as Sockwell starts to fade back a little bit from Kelly. Comes inside on Randy Porter.
Underneath Randy Porter right now.
Derek Kelly has had a lot of success here, a couple of runner-up finishes lately.
Earlier tonight we saw him run to the front. He was the only one that was able to challenge Bobby Gill at the first part of the race. I should say right around midway of the race, and then all of a sudden Marty Ward started to come on strong. But Derek Kelly was one of the strongest cars earlier tonight.
Derek Kelly's first and only win came at Hickory Motor Speedway a few races back. Now we're on board with Martin Nesbitt, same view, different car.
Yeah, now we're looking at Derek Kelly go underneath him.
Yep, right underneath. So both of the deck lid onboard camera shot cars were side by side for a while.
Martin needs to do what his sticker on the roof said. Get on the stick and let's get going.
Derek Kelly up into 4th position. Martin Nesbitt behind him in 5th. Derek Kelly, I think, sounds good.
Yeah, the motor really sounds strong. And he's not, you notice he's not really playing with the throttle coming off the corner, which tells you the car is hooked up pretty good. So he's able to step on the throttle pretty quick and hard. Here we are, 3 wide again.
3 wide, Mario Gosselin on the outside, and they fall back in line. That was a tense moment.
That was smart on Mario. You don't want to be 3 wide on the outside coming off the corner.
Marty Ward is your leader, however. And he is looking awful good. Coming up behind Jay Fogelman. Fogelman caught a break there a while ago when the caution came out, kept him on the lead lap, but Marty Ward has put him right back in the same spot again. He's right behind Jay Fogelman, and Fogelman's in danger of going a lap down to the leader. Fogelman running scared right now.
Using the lap traffic as picks right now, just trying to keep Marty Ward behind him.
Ward behind Fogelman, then the 42 of Brian Vickers has already gone a lap down, and we've got a spin. This is going to help Fogelman again if a caution comes out, and it will. Caution on lap 202. We're under 50 laps to go here in the Miller Lite 250, and once again, it's the 9 of Jonathan Brown, who's well, we're keeping score up here. That's spin number 3 for the
That's
9
number
car.
3.
But he gets it faced the right way again, and in spite of a couple of spins and three to be sure, the car still looks pretty good because he kept it off the end of pit wall again.
Looks like he just got a little loose coming off the corner.
Marty Ward, the leader.
And a good break again for Jay Fogelman.
Exactly.
He doesn't lose a lap again.
Second time, Jay Fogelman dodges a bullet. A well-timed caution keeps him on the lead lap. Marty Ward is your leader. We'll be right back to Peach State for the last 50 laps. The Miller Lite 250 continuing under caution, less than 50 laps to go. Let's go down to Stephen Cox with the 32.
Well, Randy Porter comes in for some repairs. He's run very well, had a top qualifying run this evening, and a lot of trouble ever since. Not only do we have Randy Porter in, but we have cars on both sides of him. We've got the 4 car of Jay Fogelman, who has also come in just a few moments ago. Jay fighting a poorly handling race car. Now they are adjusting the tire pressure on the front left tire for Fogelman's car. He'll go back out. The 47 of Andy Thurman has also gone back out, but more work still continuing on the right front suspension of Randy Porter.
Now for Jay Fogelman, another pit stop, but again, he's got nothing to lose. He was in danger of going a lap down. If he can improve his car, maybe that danger will go away a little bit. The crew closes the hood on Randy Porter's number 32. Porter Motorsports Ford is back out onto the racetrack, but not after a long stop. And here's Jeff Agnew, still damaged, and he's coming in for attention. The 54 car has been shown a black flag. You can see a USAR Pro Cup official there. Back to Stephen Cox with more of an update in the pits.
Boy, you guys really got a huge break here, didn't you?
Yeah. Right now we're looking pretty good, I tell you.
Yeah, I know that you've got enough to tackle him, but can you get past Marty Ward?
I don't know. This National Fresh Ford's running awful good. Marty, the 97 car, he's running good too. They're going tit for tat. Marty pitted about 20, 30 laps before we did, and hopefully our tires is going to come in, and his is going to give up.
Well, I didn't think you were going to get a shot at him at all.
Oh yeah. Well, we got a dominant car. I tell you, it's running good.
Well, Bobby Gill's crew chief is a little bit afraid to stick his neck out, and he's going to have to wait and see with the rest of us. The next time we'll see you here on Speed Vision from St. Augustine Speedway on November 4th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And as they say, check the local listings in your area. Don't forget, set your clocks back.
Beautiful city, St. Augustine, the oldest city in the United States.
And the supposed site of the Fountain of Youth.
Yeah, I looked for it once. You can see I never found it.
Marty Ward and Bobby Gill, the class of the field right now. Bill Clements Jr. running in third spot right there, and Brian Sockwell starts the second 5. He's had his best run of the night here late in the race.
Tim Clayton running 9th in the Budweiser Chevrolet. Good run for him tonight.
So now are the money laps. As we wind it down here, 40 laps remaining in the Miller Lite 250. There's Tim Clayton in the 07 car.
As they say, we've just been practicing for like 210 laps. Now we're here to get payday.
And they go past our speed shot there. Gives you an idea of just how fast these cars travel. And man, the 62 down in low. Yep, Jeremy Pate.
Sticking his nose, I think, where he shouldn't have.
And Ed Bear is where he wants to be. These are cars that are not on the lead lap, starting down low, trying to hang on as the carousel goes around them.
Look at this two wide race all around the racetrack right now.
Just off the restart, a lot of 2 wide racing, but we have seen it here. 2 definite grooves, a very racy surface at Peach State tonight.
And Mario looks inside trying to make it 3 wide. Jay Fogelman, man, he's had 2 good breaks tonight. Twice he was, just about ready to go a lap down and the yellows come out. Now we'll see if the crew's made the right adjustments to take advantage of those breaks.
Well, Bobby Gill's crew chief, Edward Johnson, his hesitation to say he had something for the leader seems to have been for a good reason. Marty Ward's car is very fast. Bobby Gill's car is pretty fast.
You made a good observation that the crew chief had a little reservation. I thought that was just me thinking that. You know, I'm watching the interview and I said, well, I'm a crew chief and a car owner. And I'm thinking that, well, if you were interviewing me and I'm watching what's going on, I'm thinking, I don't know if I got enough for Marty Ward. And that's kind of just what he said.
Well, if anybody knows how good his car would be tonight, it's Marty Ward, who is a crew chief normally and is a driver here tonight. He has won at Peach State already this year, and as we said early in the show, he's got a thick notebook on how to set up a race car for Peach State Speedway, and it seems like he's read his own notes well.
Yeah, you see, Martin Nesbitt got a little loose in the corner. The minute he did that, it opened the door. Brian Sockwell and Irma Grading Chevrolet's underneath him right now, and Scott Wimmer's tagging right along for him. That's for fifth.
Yes, indeed. Martin Nesbitt in danger of losing the spot here. Got a little tap just then.
Yeah, you see the car jerk? That means somebody definitely rubbed him.
Yep. And the battle for third as Derek Kelly goes past Bill Clements Jr. for the spot. Bill Clements Jr. with a very fine run here. Even if he hangs on into fourth place, it'll be a good finish for him. A career best, in fact, if he finishes fourth. Clements Jr.'s crew chief Marty Ward up front. Here's Jonathan Brown with 3 spins tonight. Getting passed by Mario Goslin. You know, and Goslin is down a lap. So are a lot of people.
Yeah.
Now, there were like 20 cars on the lead lap just past halfway.
And then all of a sudden it's like, bam, Marty Ward put everybody down.
Marty Ward put about 10 of them a lap down in short order, and he is leading this one by a long ways right now. Nobody else even in the same picture with Marty Ward. Nobody in the same class, or as Bum Phillips used to say, if he ain't in a class by himself, it don't take long to call the roll. Back racing here, and everybody's behind Marty Ward. The 97 Hooters restaurant car is the leader. And Bobby Gill is in second spot, coming down inside the heavily damaged 52 of Jason Bowser.
It looks like a little parachute off the back of that car right now.
It's probably acting like a parachute. All that body work flapping in the breeze. There's the distance between the leader, 97 Marty Ward, Bobby Gill with Jeff Agnew in between. It's got to be a second, maybe a little more right now.
And Derek Kelly just a little further behind Bobby Gill right now.
Derek Kelly running third. We're on board with the 21 Discount Auto Parts Chevrolet as he goes inside of Bowser. And that thing still sounds good. It's just not quite as good as Marty Ward's car. Derek Kelly third. Jeff Agnew down a lap. He had a lot of troubles here tonight. In fact, Jeff Agnew down more than a lap.
Marty Ward's now stuck in traffic. We'll see if Bobby Gill and Derek Kelly are going to be able to make up some ground on him right now, because Marty Ward's, if he uses his smarts now, he'll be careful going through traffic, because nobody has a car that I think they can catch him. I don't think they're going to be able to pass him right now. And if he uses his head right now and he uses traffic to his advantage, we'll see what happens.
Well, the key, and I agree with you, for Marty Ward is to stay out of trouble. Nobody's going to catch him heads up, even up on the racetrack. But if he makes a big mistake, gets jammed up in traffic somehow, if he is impetuous about going through rather than cautious, that could be a disaster. He's looking at a double win here at Peach State Speedway. Try to win. He won back in May. He's trying to make it 2. And if he wins tonight, he will equal his 500 batting average, because he was 1 for 2 when he finished first here in May. He's since raced a third time. He'll be 2 for 4 if he wins tonight. That's not a bad record.
As you're talking, Andy Thurman goes underneath Johnny Rumley right now. And 12th spot.
Yep, they're just outside the top 10, and both are down a lap to the leader, Marty Ward.
You talk about a 500%, so to speak, batting average. That's like unheard of in racing. You know, anyone that wins 1 out of every 2 races they run.
Yeah.
You'd give a right arm to have that type of record in racing.
You know, if you tell them you've won half the races that you've run, it sounds really good. And 2 out of 4 is only a little, you know, that kind of takes the edge off. To win 2 out of 4 races, though, a guy like Marty Ward knows what he's doing. We're very clear on that, because he is a crew chief and a very, very good driver, past track champion here at this place. Join us online if you can here on Speed Vision. You just saw the address, and for those of you that missed it, I'll repeat it: www.usarprocup.com.
Yeah, but here we are. We're already giving the win to Marty Ward. He's still got some laps left with Bobby Gill starting to close in on him.
20 laps to go, went by a while ago, 15 to go coming up, and under 10 miles of racing. Bobby Gill, though, is not making up any ground traffic or not. He and Derek Kelly just are not getting any closer to Marty Ward.
No, but Derek Kelly sure gotten a whole lot closer to Bobby Gill. I mean, he's closed it up a lot in the last couple laps.
And he's inside.
And he's underneath him.
Derek Kelly down inside, and we've said all evening long that if Derek Kelly didn't have the fastest race car on the track, it was Marty Ward. So the two fastest cars now are doing some business out there tonight. Bobby Gill has been very quick, but I think a lot of Bobby Gill's skill has kept him there. His car may not be quite that good. There's the 54. Ralph Carnes had been black flagged earlier. They came in and checked his car, and it was in fact leaking fluids, but they let him go back out, but the problem has reappeared.
Derek Kelly's looking underneath Bobby Gill.
This is for second. Yep, this is for second place. Late in the race, under 15 laps to go. There's your leader, Marty Ward in the number 97 Hooters restaurant car.
He just put Scott Wimmer lap down, and now he's working on Randy Porter.
And gets the job done as the 32 car of Porter goes a lap down. Wimmer's behind him too. There's Bobby Gill and Derek Kelly, second and third on the racetrack. They're coming up behind young Brian Vickers, who had problems earlier in the race, 16 years old.
See, Bobby Gill's been wiggling a little coming off the corner right now, and just as I said, Derek Kelly looks underneath him again.
And gets Gill a little bit loose. Bobby Gill trying as hard as he can to hold on to second place, but he's coming under some serious attack by Derek Kelly, who's going for another runner-up finish.
Got a little breathing room right there, and he's able to get about a car length distance between him and Derek Kelly right now. And Marty Ward is just on cruise control.
Marty Ward has definitely hit the setup here tonight. After starting ninth, worked his way up to the lead, just past the halfway mark, and since then it's been all Marty Ward in the 97 car.
Yeah, we watched Bobby Gill dominate the first half of the race, and after he got the halfway challenge, all of a sudden Marty Ward kind of took over.
The Discount Auto Parts field summary is going to give you an idea of just how good Marty Ward is, because there are only 10 cars left on the lead lap, making 11 counting Stacy Vickers. And as Lindley comes up behind Thurman, Andy Thurman's going to go a lap down.
Not yet, Marty Ward looked underneath him.
Oh, come on.
Not yet. Give him another lap. Come on. Give Andy the benefit of the doubt.
I mean, Marty Ward has just had his way around this racetrack and has been passing cars at will. And here is the best race on the track, though, for the 2 spots on the podium next to Marty Ward, if he can hang on to win this one, and he looks good to do that right now. There goes Andy Thurman a lap down.
Yeah, that was at least a half a lap ago, so all right, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
If you were Marty Ward, you'd be loving life right now behind the wheel of a car that's working that good. And once they say that athletes get in the zone, he's in the zone tonight.
Yeah, and this is when you go home and you say, all right, let's go to Las Vegas. We need to do some heavy betting right now. Things are rolling my way.
Bobby Gill still working traffic extremely well, trying to rub Derek Kelly off his back bumper, but Derek Kelly has got a better race car, and I'm going to stick my neck out and say that right now. Yeah. Bobby Gill is just driving the wheels off that 5 car. The naturally fresh dressing and dips Ford is not as good as the Discount Auto Parts Chevy here tonight. Look at him come up on the back bumper.
Yeah, but Brian, getting to the back bumper and passing them are always 2 different things. They make it look like it's easy to catch somebody. And sometimes it is. You can run up on somebody, but then they actually, to get around them, you have to, to get around them, you have to use a line that you're not comfortable with, because the guy in front of you is usually running the line you want to run. So to get around him, you got to go somewhere else, and Derek Kelly's got 5 laps to do it if he thinks he can, but Derek Kelly's got to go somewhere where his car's not working. Now if he does a little help there,
run.
No.
Yep. Just a tap, just a touch. Here's 4th and 5th on the racetrack. Bill Plemons Jr. in the 7 car running 4th, and that is equal to a career best, as we said. Brian Sockwell, or would be a career best, and Brian Sockwell could equal a career best if he stays on in 5th. But here is Marty Ward in the 97 car. Winner here back in May. Just a few more laps to go to make it a double victory, and 2 out of 4 Hooters Pro Cup season 99.
And Marty Ward just put Steve Christian a lap down, and as we say that, Derek Kelly gets underneath Bobby Gill and takes over 2nd spot. So
Marty Ward has now lapped the 10th place car. And there's 4th and 5th. Both Clemens and Sockwell getting down inside on poor Jason Bowser, whose heavily damaged car is just like a kite out there right now. Here's Tim Clayton, and he's in danger of going a lap down, and he's running at 9th. Marty Ward just keeps going. And Derek Kelly has gotten around Bobby Gill. Derek Kelly is into 2nd spot as the white flag waves. So 2nd place, unless Bobby Gill can get back by, is going to go to Derek Kelly again. But here is your leader, Marty Ward, in the 97 car. The South Carolina driver has slipped across the Georgia border to take another checkered flag at Peach State Speedway. 2 in the same season and out of 4 that he has raced. Hooters Pro Cup victory number 2 for the year goes to Marty Ward. What a tremendous run.
I say he likes this racetrack.
Just a little. Marty Ward with a 2nd victory in the Miller Lite 250 here tonight. The USAR Hooters Pro Cup Series is brought to you by Hooters, delightfully tacky yet unrefined. And by Jackaroo Sauces. Jackaroo tastes so great, they named a restaurant after us. By Naturally Fresh Foods. Naturally Fresh, it's not only our name, it's our promise. And by Miller Lite, the great taste of a true Pilsner beer. Marty Ward climbs out of the car with 2 wins here at Peach State Speedway under his belt in 1 season. And let's take a look at the final results while Stephen Cox gets ready to talk to the winner. Derek Kelly finished 2nd, Bobby Gill 3rd, Bill Plemons Jr. career best 4th, and Sockwell rounding out the top 5. Steve Christian rounding out the top 10, and starting here are all the guys that went a lap down late in the race to Marty Ward.
There were a lot of them.
There were a lot. Karen Schultz finishes 20th with her new Jackaroo Sauces colors on the car, and we look down through the rest of the results. Calvin Redwine soldiered on after a couple of incidents, as did Eddie Bear. Let's go downstairs now to Stephen Cox, who is caught up with the leader, and you know this guy's pretty happy about win number 2.
My math is terrible, but by my count, you're 2 for 4 this year. That's a 50% winning streak. How do you manufacture that?
Well, maybe I'll need to go back and crew chief all year and just leave it sitting in the back room, bring it out every now and then. We wasn't quite as good this morning as we was here before, and I wouldn't make no changes. And Bob, first time he's been back with me doing my tires, and took a lot of pressure off of me. And like I say, it's just an awesome car all night long.
I really thought the 5 car might have something for you, especially after that last yellow, but I guess not.
Well, like I say, I was a little loose there. We got tightened up with a new set of tires, and he closed stagger up a little bit, boy, and it made a world of difference. And I just worried about lap cars mainly, and they was awful hard to get by tonight. And I was trying to take care of it there and have me something run at the end. So if he did have something, but I kept asking him where he was, and they told me not to worry about him. So
sure like to see you one more time this year.
I think we might run one more. So we'll see how we come out.
Run one more. That's not good for the rest of the field.
Here's Bobby Gill with a little over 200-point lead over Jay Fogelman now, and almost 500 points over Mario Gosselin. That could be the end of a championship hope for Mario, but the rookie points are still pretty much up for grabs. Andy Thurman up into 10th spot on the points, and here it is, the rookie championship. Steve Christian hasn't put it to bed yet. It's less than 200 points for Marty Lindley. Let's go down and talk to Bill Plemons Jr. with a career best 4th place finish tonight.
He's already won 2 track championships here at Peach State, so we knew you were going to have a run. And how much did experience play into this? I mean, you were running up front all night.
Well, I think the experience come on the lap cars, and it came with saving tires a little bit. And I thought I had enough to save, but we just got looser a little towards the end. We were good. We pitted right. I knew about the pit strategy we needed, and put us back up front. We just couldn't hold it. My teammate had a lot better car. Of course, he works on both of them, so I had a 4th, he had a 1st, and that's pretty good. But we were just a little loose. If we couldn't get back, we could get in the gas. This Lofton car was turning super in the middle. This Hooters car was really, really hooked up there for a while. We let it a while. It just we just needed a little bit more, and I know other cars did. It just track's a little loose. So asphalt's gone. It's cold. Just need a little more bite.
You know, I was wondering when you were running in 1st place and Marty was running in 2nd, if any kind of team orders were going back and forth here. How did that figure into the equation?
Well, I like to stay in front of him. He just got nose to tail, and we just hooked up and maybe done a little draft and took off. But it didn't work that way. I mean, he just come on by and he had to bite and he went on. And, you know, I race with all these guys this way. I mean, some nights you have it and you need to go, and other nights you don't. You need to let them go. and it works out.
All right, Bill Clemens Jr. sponsors the Hard Charger Award, and it goes to Derek Kelly, who finished 2 spots ahead of him in second place, started 18th. And the Rookie of the Race, sponsored by Miller Lite, goes to Brian Sockwell, who equaled his career best with a 5th place finish here tonight. And we will see you from St. Augustine Speedway, the Lucas Oil 250 on November 14th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Congratulations to Marty Ward, who did the howling here tonight under the full moon. www.speedvision.com. If you can't join us on the air and you're looking for us on the web, that's the address. For Bill Venturini and Stephen Cox, I'm Brian Drebber. So long, everybody, and happy Halloween.